StudioRunners.com. YouTube/@TheNatureDC. Subscribe today.
This is Score the Fight on the Live Watch Network.
You know what it is. This is Score the Fight on the Nature Network, Live Watch Media. Shout out to everybody that's going to tune in with me. I am your guy, Point B, as I'm always here for you guys. I'm always here for the team. So, this week, this is a show that I'm going to start bringing to you guys called This Week in Combat Sports. And so what we're going to discuss is all of the different things that has gone on in combat sports right now, And so I'm glad to bring you guys. I am so happy to bring you guys what really has been going on in these different combat sports, in the sport of boxing, as well as in the UFC, okay? And so it's a lot of big stuff that's happened so far this year, and so we're going to start trying to give it to you weekly, at least, so you guys can keep up with what's going on in the world of combat sports. So, I'm not going to hold you guys too long. You know what I mean? I am here for you guys, and so what I'm definitely here to do is I'm here to represent the guys, the people, the women, the people that love combat sports. So, we got a format for you guys, and, we're going to be talking about just the different things that's been going on in the sport of boxing, as well as in the sport of UFC. There's been big fights. There's always big fights. There's always things going on. So I'm just giving you guys a little bit of a rundown about what to expect, in boxing, man, what to expect in this realm, man. I'm pretty excited. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really excited to give you guys, the real rundown about what's going on, man. And so, we're gonna kick it off, man. We're gonna stop dallying around or whatever, and we're gonna kick it off, man. And so, what we're gonna do is we're going to just keep you guys informed, keep you guys ready, and so, starting out, so this is round one, all right, so round one, of course, it's gotta be, to me, one of the biggest things that's went on in boxing this past week is Usyk versus Dubois, okay? Usyk Dubois. That is the kind of the biggest story that's gone around in boxing, okay? And so when I'm looking at what's going on with Usyk and Dubois, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that Dubois quit, and that's the really name of the game of this situation. Did Dubois quit? I mean, he was knocked down, he was hurt, but at the same time, you're a fighter, you're a champion, and to be a champion, you got to step up. You got to be able to fight through the pain, fight through whatever it is in front of you. Dubois is a very good fighter. He had a very good jab, and he stayed in the fight for a couple rounds. But Usyk's footwork was, impeccable. Usyk's, started laying them heavier shots. Of course, once it got around to the fourth or fifth round, and once Dubois was dropped, you kind of seen all of the steam get taken out of him. He no longer was, aggressive. He no longer was, a guy that is going after it. He got beat, he got hit, he got hurt, and then it was like that's all there was to it. And when he hit the ground, we kind of knew. Everybody kind of knew that was watching the fight. Everybody knew that he was hurt. and that he probably wouldn't get up after that. And so, for me, especially in the heavyweight division, it's a thing to go out on your shield. Okay. And a lot of people feel like he didn't go out on his shield. A lot of people feel like he had more, but he knew he couldn't win the fight. And so, because he had more, but he couldn't win the fight, I think that that's kind of what hurt him. Now, Usyk is a dominant heavyweight, a dominant boxer, one of the greatest boxers of this generation. He's now a 3-time undisputed champion. He's a 2-time undisputed heavyweight champion, as well as an undisputed cruiserweight champion. And that is impressive for anybody, but yet alone, the guy, And so shout out to Alexander Usyk for coming through and, putting in the work. Okay. That's the end of the first round. And I think that first round went well. We talked about Usyk and Dubois, and did Dubois quit? And I think that, it's safe to say that he did quit. I think it's safe to say that he did quit. I don't know if Dubois is going to be able to recover from this and be the same champion that, we thought he would be. But I think he still has a lot of boxing left in him. He's still a very young guy. And I think that he's going to be able to compete at a very high level very soon. I think he's going to be able to compete at a very, very, very high level. Okay. So shout out to Dubois, Daniel Dubois. Okay. So as we getting into this next round, we got to talk. All right. So we got to talk about the guy Shakur Stevenson. Okay. Shakur Stevenson, he went out there and, dominated. I feel like he was probably at his best against William Zepeda. He was untouchable. He was a guy that went out and, man, this was probably one of the best I've seen Shakur Stevenson ever. And the reason I'm saying that is not because he went in there and took punishment, but because he went in there and, he went in there and dominated. Zepeda hit him, and he stood in the pocket and fought. It's not like Zepeda didn't hit him. It's that he was showing his superior skill in that fight. Shakur Stevenson was definitely showing his superior skill in that fight. You got to give it to the young guy because, at a point in time, man, like, you got to respect Shakur Stevenson. You got to know that what people say about him being, pillow fisted and all of this other stuff is kind of crazy, in my opinion, because obviously he got enough pop to kind of keep the guys off of him, and so Shakur, what's next for Shakur after this Zepeda fight? Because I think that this is a big win, in my opinion. This is a huge win, in my opinion. I think that he should be going after a Tank fight now. He should be going after the biggest fights that he can get, especially if he's going to stay in his weight class. Now, I respect Shakur. I do not think that he should be trying to fight Conor Benn. Conor Benn is, I think Conor Benn is just, I think he's an excellent fighter, but I think that because there are weight classes, okay? There's weight classes for a reason. There's definitely weight classes for a reason. And, Shakur is definitely one of those guys that if he sticks around in his weight division, he could potentially be dominant. I see a lot of good fights for him. I see Tank Davis potentially fighting him. After dominating, shout out to this guy right here, man. Shout out to Showbiz the Adult, man, because he stays on it. He stays very consistent. I mean, he's one of those guys that's holding it down for the sport of boxing and the boxing community. So, you know, we all X right now. This is all rights reserved to X. So these are different posts coming up on X as we get into round number 3. Okay, as we get into round number 3, I mean, like, we're gonna run down that quick of Shakur. I think Shakur is completely. I mean, he's able to do what he wants in boxing. If he wants to have those bigger fights, then he will be able to have them. If he wants to go into a space where he is going up to 140 or something like that, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, should he go to 140? I can't really say if he should or if he shouldn't. But I can say that he should be ready to do. I mean, he should be ready to have a big fight next. If it's Tank Davis, maybe potentially a Lamar Roach, you know, maybe potentially someone else. But as we get into this third round of, you know, boxing, we're gonna go back to Usyk. Okay, is Usyk a all-time great heavyweight? That has been the debate going around. Is Alexander Usyk a all-time great heavyweight? Okay. Um, to me, to me, he's not the greatest heavyweight, but he is a all-time great heavyweight, in my opinion. Okay. He's not the greatest though. Okay. And the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying about Alexander Usyk not being the greatest, there's other heavyweights that dominated the heavyweight division for years. Okay, you think about a Joe Louis, when you thinking about, you know, guys like the at the time of with Muhammad Ali and Sonny Liston and George Foreman and Ken Norton Jr. Excuse me, Ken Norton Sr. You got a raiment of heavyweights that, you know, the Lennox Lewis, the Mike Tysons, you know, it's hard to put Usyk above all of those guys and say he is the all-time greatest heavyweight. He is the greatest heavyweight of this era, though. And I think that gotta classify him as a all-time great. I think that should classify him as a all-time great because, I mean, when you break it down, there aren't that many guys that that can say that they've accomplished, you know, they've accomplished what he has. There's not that many guys. It's just not. It's not that many guys that's been undisputed heavyweight champion, let alone 2-time undisputed heavyweight champion. You know, I mean, that accomplishment in itself. I mean, and I get that they stripped him of the belt, that he got back after they stripped him of the belt, and I mean, I get that. I get all of the hoopla, you know, about Usyk. You know, I get all of the he did it and this and this and this, and but no, Alexander Usyk, I mean, he deserves the credit for being a all-time great heavyweight. You know, he deserves it. And I think that after putting in the work that he did put in, after going as hard as he did go, I think that after doing what he did to be dominant in the sport of boxing, okay, I think that you gotta give him an all-time great heavyweight status. Okay. And we're going into round number 4, man. This is you know, uh, I think that, you know, we ready, man. I hope you guys are enjoying it, man. I hope this is moving fast enough for you guys, as well as hope you guys are really enjoying, you know, being here with me. So shout out to everybody that is here with me and locked in with me. I really appreciate you guys because it's really the support that we have gotten on our channel has been incredible. You know, the support that we have gotten from you guys have been, it's been crazy. So I really appreciate everything that you guys have been, holding us down here on Score the Fight. And so as we get into round number 4, let's talk about it. We gotta talk about a guy. We gotta talk about a GOAT. And because we were just talking about GOATs, we gotta talk about the great Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. Okay? The great Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. I mean, what can I say about Manny? He came in and he fought Barrios hard. I mean, I don't think Barrios expected Manny I don't think he expected Manny to go like that. I don't think that he's seen Manny's. I know he's one of those guys, right? But I don't think that he expected Manny to do what Manny did, man. I mean, Manny was crazy in that fight. And so shout out to Manny Pacquiao, because at 46 years old, going up against a 20-something-year-old man, it is very, very, very hard to kind of contain that guy, okay? Like, I mean, early in the fight, I will say this. Barrios controlled a lot of early in the fight, but you can see that Pac-Man was just getting there. See, Pac-Man was starting to edge closer, and he was starting to land some of those shots. And then when he landed, it's not like Barrios was just shrugging him off, It's not like Barrios was just, oh, that ain't nothing. No, he was getting hit, and then, when you think about it, Pac-Man was hurting him. He was hurting him bad. And so, I mean, when I looked at that and I seen that Pac-Man could hurt him, and I seen that Barrios wasn't, roughing Pacquiao up. He wasn't hurting Pacquiao. He wasn't, I mean, it was nothing he could do, And so, I mean, I don't know. But the return of Pacquiao was great to see. The return of Pacquiao was amazing to see, okay? And I'm not going to lie, I was very happy to see Pacquiao. I thought he won the fight. And I'm going to say this now. I thought that he edged it out. We covered it here. I thought that, a lot of those close rounds could have been edged out for Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. So, I mean, I don't know what you guys want to hear, other than Pac-Man might have deserved that win. Okay? Pac-Man, he put in the work. Pac-Man was utterly dominant almost in that space. So, going into this 5th round, man, and we moving fast. That's kind of how we want to do here on this show. Excuse the outside noise. They be going crazy out there, But we are moving into the 5th round already, and moving into the 5th round. Like I'm trying to say, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. This is a rapid fire show, okay? So you got to be able to keep up. We will not, this is just like a regular fight, okay? This is just like a regular fight. And so, I mean, you got to understand that this is what it is, No knock on anybody else, but I think we want to do rapid fires a little differently here. We keeping up with the pace, and we want to have you guys enjoy as much of the show as we can. So this isn't a live show, so guess what? You can come back, tune in, watch it, and tell us what you think in the comments. Okay, but going into round number 5, okay? Going into round number 5, we got our man, the local. You know what I'm saying? When I say local, not that he's a local fighter. He's from locally in this area where I'm from Washington, D.C. area. Gary Allen Russell Jr. I mean, the return, I was thoroughly impressed by his performance. I mean, he was moving around the ring. He was hurting Slim. I mean, I don't think that it was nothing that he can do. You know what I mean? This was one of his last fights right here against Masayo, you know, and he was, I mean, don't get me wrong. That's a fight that he lost. He got hurt in that fight. But, and this is the biggest but he came back and he fought. And when he fought this time, this was different. This was different. Gary Russell was in control of the whole fight. Gary Russell was able to move around the whole fight. In the last round on the first punch with a body shot. He knocked him down early in the fight. He finished him late in the fight. He worked on stuff in the fight. I mean, in the fight, he was in there working on stuff, man. He was in there just working on stuff. And, you know, we going through the little bit of the extra show, you know what I'm saying? But he stopped him in the 10th round with just a clean body shot. And this was such an impressive performance, in my opinion, from Gary Russell, because it's like he was boxing, but at the same time, you can tell that he was still getting his feet in the dirt a little bit, you know? He was still doing things, because once he knocked him down early, he could have taken advantage and closed out the fight, but I think he wanted to get the rounds in. The commentary kind of said the same thing, but that's what I saw. I saw that he was able to just, I mean, dominate and then, you know, work on stuff. There was spots in there where, you know, he wanted to take punishment, and you can tell that that was his intention, that he was going to take a little bit of punishment. You know, it wasn't like he was trying to run or duck or hide from the smoke. It was more or less like, I mean, he was going at it. You know what I mean? So, like, I respect Gary Russell, man. I think that this is something that we are happy to see. I think that we all gonna be happy to see him continue to fight. And I love to see him fight on Lamont Roach. I love to see him fight a Tank Davis. I mean, you know, not saying that's what it is, but, you know, go ahead and put him in there. He's a veteran, you know, and we're gonna go a little further into a little bit past the round right there for Gary Russell, because I mean, I think that he's a dog, and I think that if he's healthy the way he fought in his last fight, I think that it will be an explosive potential fight with him and Lamont Roach. I think that might be the best fight. People in this area come out. We would love to come out and support that fight. The Tank Davis and Lamont Roach fight was a big fight for this area. So, but we're going to go into round number 6, man. You know, I can't go too far on Gary Antoine Russell, but shout out to him, and we definitely going to support him as he comes through in this situation, you know. So, as we get into round number 6, we gotta talk about this guy. He's one of the best boxers in the world. And right now, I think that a lot of people are coming at him for a lot of different reasons. And I'm not going to say whether I approve or disapprove of the reasons that they are coming at him. But we got to talk about this amazing talent that we love to support on this show. And it is Gervonta Tank Davis. Okay? Gervonta Tank Davis is, to me, I mean, this was the end of the Lamont Roach fight. Lamont Roach looked disappointed. Tank Davis was talking. This was his last fight, and since then, Tank Davis has had some other issues or whatever the case may be. But we do support Tank. My take on Tank, okay? This is my take on Tank Davis, okay? My take on Tank Davis is that I loved seeing Tank Davis with Floyd Mayweather, the money team. And not saying that he has to go back with the money team. I love seeing Tank Davis with Calvin Ford and as his head trainer. I think that when you have a recipe, and Al Heyman as his top promoter, I feel like when you have a recipe, right? You have a good recipe. You don't go messing with it, okay? And I feel like Tank Davis and that team right there around him that helped build him to be the superstar mega boxer that he is, I think that team was the right team around him. Now, I know it's a lot of stuff that's happened since. I know Floyd himself is kind of teamed up a bit with Shakur Stevenson. I've seen Floyd be active with a lot of fighters, though, not just Shakur Stevenson. So it's not like I think that it's just him versus, I don't think that it's just him. And I don't think that's the case. But I do think that Tank Davis is better and was better with, I think that Tank Davis is and was better, with Floyd Mayweather. And it sucks that an amazing talent like a Tank Davis is in the situation that he's in. And prayers to him and his family. I hope that this situation does help him instead of hurt him, helps him bring him back to reality. He was in a jail cell not too long ago, and I think he needs really good people around him. I think that people should be supporting him because I'm pretty sure that he supported a lot of those people around him. Shout out to him, but I would love to see them reunite, bring that team back together because Tank Davis, I love to see Tank Davis with Al Heyman, with Floyd Mayweather, with his team. But going into the next round, of course, round number 7, okay? We got round number 7 coming up, right? And this is a pretty, this is a round that, a lot of people been talking about, man. A lot of people been talking about, man. And I mean, it's a crazy situation, but, and I'm going to just say again, thanks you guys for tuning in to Score the Fight on the Nature Network. I am Point B. I am your curator for today and for unforeseeable future or whatever. I'm just playing. But I want to thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a pleasure being here with you guys so far. And we will continue to roll on to, of course, number 7. All right. We are talking about the Fundora Tim Tszyu battle. I mean, this is the second fight in their saga, and I mean, Fundora kind of dominated. There was moments that I feel like Tim Tszyu had success in, and I feel like as he got closer to the point where he didn't come out from the corner, I think he could have pushed, but I mean, I think Fundora's bunches of punches and bunches is hard. He's a giant at that weight class. Okay, he's not in the heavyweight weight class. He's a 154-pound weight class. There's nobody like the Tower and Inferno at that weight class, and so I think it's really, extremely hard. Really extremely hard to fight him. I don't even know what strategy you could use because he's not a guy that uses his height often. He will use it. You will see him start to get on the outside and just snap that jab. The long reach. You will see it. But Tim Tszyu, I wanted a better. I thought from the last fight when he was cut on the top of the head, I thought Tim Tszyu was very close in that fight. I thought Tim Tszyu was could have been. He could have won that fight if there was no cut on top of his head because he fought with a passionate spirit in that fight. And I didn't see that passionate spirit in this one. But at the same time, he's still been doing pretty good, I would say. He's still been all right. And so I would love to see, I would love to see it. I'm not gonna lie. I love to see Tim Tszyu get back on top of what he can do. But Shout out to Sebastian Fundora, of course, for being accepted into Harvard University. And, shout out to him because Fundora is, he's a fun guy to watch. I mean, he's one of those guys. And Tim Tszyu came out on this little post right here. You can see, and just said that he was the better man that night and that he wasn't on top of his game. But shout out to Tim Tszyu for being a man with great humility and great, integrity and saying, all right, look, it wasn't my way that night. All right, going into the 8th round. I mean, rapid fire, man. We done got through these so fast, okay? So you gotta respect how fast we moving with this, okay? And the 8th round is gonna be an interesting round, man, because you guys don't know, man. This has been an interesting take. I don't know if I can even wait till the round to tell you guys, but we can't talk about it till the round start. So I'm gonna say again, thanks for you guys tuning in. This is Point B. This is Score the Fight. This is the Nature Network. This is what happened in combat sports this week. This is what's happened. So let's get ready to rock into this 8th round. I know I'm ready. I hope you guys are. The 8th round is, of course, it's Devin, the Dream Haney, and the Brian Norman. I don't know what's going on with these guys. These guys are
guys that they put in front of him. I'm on a whole different level. I've been at this level since I was 20, 21 years old.
And stuff like that. And so Devin Haney, man, they talk about he was going to back out of the fight. Then they say he's not backing out of the fight. They saying they want Vada to be able to randomly test him. Brian Norman is like, okay, but they want to test him on vacation and 24-hour testing, which I don't agree with. I do agree with 24-hour testing. Now, it's got to be something that both fighters want to do. It's got to be where both fighters are signing on to this. And when you don't get both fighters agreeing on how the business should be done, that's when there's issues. But all of that should have been handled pre-fight announcement. So my only issue with what goes on in the sport of boxing after the contracts are signed is that you want to come back after the fact and say, oh, it should be this way, or oh, it should be that way. But it should be the way that it is when you sign the contract, okay? You cannot go and sign the contract and take the contract and do all of this and then say after the fact, oh, I wanted it this, I wanted this, and I wanted that. No, it don't work that way. And it shouldn't work that way, to be honest. It should not. People need to be men enough to say, okay, look, this is what it is. This is who I am. This is what the contract is. This is what I'm willing to do. This is how I'm willing to do it. This is what I'm not okay with, because there's stuff that like all of these fighters keep coming out after the fact and saying, I wasn't okay with this and I wasn't okay with that. And I wouldn't have done this and I wouldn't have done that. And it's like, no, you should definitely have a situation where, like, yeah, you sign that contract, that's what it is. You sign that contract, you can't come back and change it. So if you don't agree with some stuff, don't agree with it. But don't sign the contract until you agree with it. And that's what all I'm saying. So I would love to see the fight. I think will be a great fight. I can't tell you who I got in that fight just yet, but shout out to Brian Norman. Shout out to Devin, the American Dream Haney. And we are going into round number 9 now, man. Round number 9. And so with round number 9, we got a special round here, man. And this is something that I think that, you guys are going to enjoy, okay? You guys really going to enjoy this one because this isn't a normal take. And this is something that's got to be talked about, man. It's got to be talked about in the sport of boxing, man, right now. It's got to be talked about because if not, then it gets ignored, you know? And as we get into round number 9, like I said, I've been thanking you guys the whole way through. But make sure you tune in with us tomorrow. You know, make sure you tune in with us tomorrow. Claressa Sheilds, Lani Daniels, you know, the Quote versus the Laughing Assassin. Okay, so, you know, tune in with us tomorrow for sure. All right. So the next round gotta be on a big name in boxing right now. It's gotta be talked about because, I mean, he's making waves in boxing. And it is Jake Problem Child Paul. I mean, Jake Paul, you got to call him a boxer now, okay? You got to consider him a professional boxer now. I mean, realistically, you could have probably considered him a professional boxer a couple fights ago, but you got to consider him a professional boxer now, especially after being ranked by the sanctioning bodies, okay? He's ranked, you know, and he's going to be up for title fights if he can climb the ranks. Now, that's where we come into play at. Can he climb the ranks? Or does he even need to climb the ranks because of what he's going to bring in revenue, what he's going to bring in attention, what he's going to do as far as selling the fight? Does he even really need to move up the ladder is the question. So, don't get me wrong. I understand how things go where people feel like they had to put in their blood, sweat, and tears to get to the pinnacle of the space where they are. And then you got guys that just want on in and now they're getting treated preferential treatment and stuff like that. I get that, right? But with a person like Jake Paul that's going to sell out an arena, that's going to be able to, you know, get people to watch with a big name like that, it's hard to tell that guy. It's going to be really hard to tell that guy, hey, I want you to fight this fight that's not going to sell. Now, it might sell just because of him, but you kind of want to strike while the iron's hot, okay? And striking while the iron's hot potentially means that Jake Paul gets a title fight sooner than later, okay? So, I mean, Jake Paul, to me, he's shown good boxing skills, you know. Remember this I Am Mike Tyson slap right here, you know. He just got in the ring to face off with Usyk, and I hope that he doesn't try to fight Usyk. If he thinks that Usyk is going to be an easy task, if he was there to kind of gauge if he can go with Usyk, more than likely you're going to get knocked out, Jake. And as we go into the 10th round, man, I appreciate you guys, man. This has been a rapid fire, of course, and this is what's going on in combat sports. And like we are doing the first 12 rounds of boxing, so to get this thing kicked off, to get it started off, you know. And I definitely appreciate you guys for rocking with us, man, and tuning in with us, man, and and definitely I want to appreciate you guys for just sticking by us, man, throughout all of the hoopla, you know, all of the issues, all of the everything, you know. I definitely want to thank you guys because you guys have been phenomenal. You guys have been amazing with us throughout this time, and so I definitely appreciate you guys. All right. So going into the next round, man, we gotta talk about Turki Al-Sheikh and Jaron Boots Ennis. Okay, Turki Al-Sheikh, Jaron Boots Ennis. Okay, so Boots Ennis, I'm going to be honest, man. I have a lot. I think Boots Ennis is amazing. I think he's been a phenomenal guy. I think that he's been exceptional as a fighter. I think that he has a lot of talent. I think that he could be one of the best boxers. I mean, I think Boots could probably be one of the best boxers in the country. Could be one of the best guys. But what Turki Ali Sheik is saying is that he's not up to taking these challenges. And I think that that's an issue. Wanting a tune-up fight is not necessarily like shunned or anything, you know? But just to know that those big fights is waiting for you, Boots. You know what I mean? Those big fights is waiting for you, you know? And I mean, I think that you gotta test yourself. A Devin Haney fight, I think that would have been a big fight. The Brian Norman fight, I think that could have been a big fight. I think that you got a lot of fights out there that, I mean, you got a lot of fights out there that I think is excellent for you at the 154 weight class. You got a person like Tim Tszyu, maybe even Fundora. You know, you got a lot of meat on that bone. No homo, no diddy, no none of that. Like no, and don't cancel me for saying what it is, saying that. But it's a lot. It's a lot there, and so hopefully him and Turki Ali Sheik somehow meets eye to eye and says, you know, because I thought they were doing well together. Him, Eddie Hearn, Turki Ali Sheik. I think they were doing really well together, and so I'm really happy to see Boots. I will be happy to see Boots back in the ring. He's had a lot of long layoffs throughout his career, and I just rather these two guys. I mean, I rather this guy just get into the ring and show his skills. I mean, show that he's a top tier champion. I think that he has the skills, the punching power. I think he has it all. But I would like to see him test himself now, test his might, test his strength, test his capabilities. Okay, man, that was a rapid fire round. And now we are into the golden rounds, man. We are into the golden rounds. And you know, with the golden rounds, man, you know, it's a thing, man. It's a thing, man. Round number 11 for us, man. Round number 11. And this is a special round because, I mean, super special round because this is boxing elite here that we got to talk about. This is cream of the crop. This is, you know, top dog status. This is best of the best. And I mean, I guarantee y'all can already tell what I'm talking about before I even finish because it's only one fight right now that's cream of the crop, that's best of the best, that's top dog versus top dog, and that's Canelo, Alvarez, and Terrence Bud Crawford. Okay? September 13th. Tune into this fight. It will be on Netflix. It will be one of the most amazing events, a stacked undercard. This is the biggest fight in boxing since maybe like Mayweather Pacquiao. This is a huge fight with two legends, two active fighting legends right now. This is the best versus the best, in my opinion. This is Canelo Alvarez, who he lost at, I could say he lost at 175, but that's not really his weight class when he lost to Bivol. You know, he only has one like loss on his record to maybe somebody that I ain't gonna say he should have beat, because I ain't saying nobody should have beat Floyd, but but like as far as size wise and stuff like that, okay. Canelo Alvarez is a monster, man. But I've been on air stating this several times that I think that Bud Crawford is the best fighter in the world. I think that Bud Crawford has the strength and the skill to beat Canelo Alvarez. I think that Bud Crawford is the best fighter to beat a Canelo Alvarez that's smaller than him. And when I mean smaller, I really don't mean smaller too much, because I mean, if you look at the height wise, they're relatively the same height. When you look at weight, it's a little different. The weight's a little different. I mean, but to be real, Canelo Alvarez is just final round. Final round. Okay. Final talk weekend. The woman fight. Okay. That is Shield versus Lani Daniels. So I personally think it's going to be a really good fight. Really good fight. I think it's I would pay for that fight, pay per view. I would love to I would love So Claressa Sheilds and Laila Ali, I don't know if it happens. Shields says she got the 15 million. Laila Ali, I don't know if she's ever responded to that, but that's the fight that I think that everybody would love to see. People would love to see Laila Ali and Claressa Sheilds go at it. These two phenomenal women, these two like amazing women. And I know, thank you guys for tuning for those 12 rounds. So thank you guys for tuning in to 12 rounds. And so those are those 12 rounds of boxing. I hope that you appreciated it. I hope that you rock with us, man. I hope that you enjoyed it, because I mean, I'm glad to bring you guys the the info, man. I'm really glad to give you guys the info. But I do think that Claressa Sheilds, Laila Ali is a mega fight. I think that you could potentially, really, really, really love that fight, because I mean, Laila, I don't know what Laila got left though. And that's the thing. I don't know what Laila got left. Can Laila still bang like Laila Ali is the question. Can she bang is the question. Okay. So now what we're going to do a bit of is we're going to look into the post fight, which is what we talk about in the post fight is what's going on. We're talking about what's going on this weekend. And this weekend, we got Claressa Sheilds and Lani Daniels, okay, as the headliners, okay? Like I've been talking about, I didn't plug this a couple times in this program right here. The Laughing Assassin versus the GWOAT versus the Laughing Assassin, if you want to do A side, B side. Right now on FanDuel, Claressa Sheilds minus 4,500. Lani Daniels is plus 1180 underdog. Okay, MGM, you got Claressa Sheilds is a $2,500 betting favorite, while Lani Daniels is $1,000 betting underdog. I mean, you got people. These are massive betting odds, right? Huge betting odds in favor of Claressa Sheilds, and that's who I'm betting with. Actually, I'm betting with the stoppage. I think that's the best bet on the board is for Claressa Sheilds to stop Lani Daniels. Now, do I think that I said it could go 12 rounds, right? In my little, so don't think I'm contradicting myself. I'm saying the best value for your bet would be something like that, because she's going to win. And when I say she's going to win, I'm saying this as a person that feels like Claressa Sheilds is, with those betting odds, Claressa Sheilds pretty much, a lot. But where do you get some value from? You get your value from something unconventional. You get your value from something a little different, okay? And so now we move into the next fight on that card. Samantha Worthington versus Victoria Pitu, okay? And Samantha Worthington is a minus 700, so she's the favorite. And Victoria Pitu, hopefully I'm saying this name correctly. She is plus 450. I mean, I think that these bets on the card, these are two competitive women. I think it'll be a good fight. I'm not sure about the dynamic of the good fight, right? I'm not sure about that. But I will say that it should be good. It should be good. I mean,
I'm not sure.
I think it should be okay. Okay. So I can't tell you guys that Lani Daniels is gonna be a dog in this. I can't tell you that she's gonna be one of those people. I mean, excuse me, I said Lani Daniels. Victoria Pitu is gonna be it's gonna upset or anything like that. 700 to 450. That's usually pretty bad betting odds. But I like to bet in women's boxing. I like to bet it to go the distance a lot of times, even though I don't look at that's the best value. I don't look at that as the best value in that situation. For Claressa Sheilds, I just don't see it as the best value. I don't know if it is. I don't know if it is. You know, yeah. I think that potentially going the distance might be the best value for that bet. I could see it potentially going the distance, and I wouldn't be surprised if it did. Yeah. So, moving on to the next fight. And we got Caroline Yurdi versus Alicia Bordesia. And let's see if we can find those odds here. We'll go to DraftKings. I'm just giving you guys a couple different sports books that you might potentially go on, or whatever the case may be. I'm giving you guys a couple ideas of what to do, and how to view this thing, maybe where to bet, because I'm the type of person that I like to have good odds. And so Caroline Verdi is minus 1,000. Lucia Bordesia is plus 600, which like I said, another may potentially go the distance type of fight. That's probably what I'm gonna go with, going the distance, because I think that is. I think that's the safest bet in those situations. I think that those bets are really good to rock with. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's where it's at right there. All right, so we are not at the midway point, but we are past the boxing point of this program. Thank you guys for tuning in. You guys have been a pleasure. You guys have been excellent. And I want to appreciate you guys for tuning in and kicking with us and rocking with us like you always do. I want to thank you guys for being as phenomenal of an audience as you can have here on social media. I want to, just appreciate you guys for all the love and comments and likes and subscribing. Please, if you are enjoying this content, go right now to @Studio Runners on YouTube, @Studio Runners on YouTube, and hit the subscribe button. We will greatly appreciate it, and it will keep you informed on what's going on in our world, And so, thank you, for rocking with us and all that. But go hit that subscribe button. Don't just hoard the content. Watch it, enjoy it, and then go about your day. No, be locked in with what we do here on the Nature Network, okay? And I am Point B. This is a Score the Fight program. This is Score the Fight presents what happened in combat sports this week. And because we do what happened in combat sports, we can't just do what happened in boxing. No, we can't just do what happened in, you can't do that. We got to do what's happening in combat sports. That means all of combat sports, okay? So thank you guys for rocking with us and tuning in and locking with us. But you know what combat sports also has? It also has UFC, okay? And so I want to definitely go talk about some of this stuff that, I mean, that's been going on in the sport of in combat sports in general. Okay, so I know I'm talking a lot. You know what I mean? I know I'm talking a lot, but right now I'm just trying to give you guys the game, the rundown. So, with no further ado, you know, we're going to start getting into this. Okay, and so we're going to start out round number 1, okay? And round number 1, we got a special set of cards for the UFC, okay? Got a special set of cards for the UFC, okay? And so let me go here. Oh man, they're not showing my card. It's all right. It's all right. It's okay. They just be hating, man. They just been hating. All right. So after a minute's gone out of this round, see you can't be taking too long. We're gonna talk about UFC at the White House. Okay? UFC at the White House. They're talking about it, man. Potential cards, potential this, potential that. And UFC at the White House. Okay. I see a potential dream matchup of let me just go ahead and pull this up for you guys. Let me not hoard the information, and let me show you guys with this potential card for UFC at the White House, because this might be, I think it's actually a good damn card. Pretty good card, concept card at least. You know, and there we go. Got it up for you guys right there. You know, Jones, Aspinall, McGregor, Chandler, Strickland, Adesanya 2, Roundtree, Ubeg, O'Malley, Santon. And then look at this prelim. Prelim is filled. Filled with, big events, man. And they're talking about July 4th, 2026, potentially being that date that UFC will be at the White House. So if that does go down, John Jones, Aspinall, it should headline it. What other choice do you got other than to let it headline it? But I would love to see UFC at the White House. I don't think that that they'll have a crowd though. And that may be weird for the UFC fighters. Some UFC fighters feed off of the crowd. And they may be able to have a small crowd, White House staff or the people that work there, and of course the president's family and stuff like that. But I think it would be so cool, especially being a Washington, D.C. native, that they would do something like that. I think that it'll be incredible. So shout out to Dana White for maybe doing that, maybe holding that down. All right, and we're going into round number 2. Okay, round number 2 in this UFC, and I know UFC normally give you 5-minute rounds. I know they normally give you 5-minute rounds, but like I said, this is still a program or whatever, and there will be events where we do give you guys 5-minute rounds, but today is not one of those days. Okay, and so, as we getting closer and closer to the end of this program, man. We've been knocking out this program real fast, man. I appreciate you guys for rocking with me, man. You know, but like I said, super excited to see UFC at the White House. And so yeah, we're going into this next round, And this next round is very important in the combat sports world. It was this weekend. It was a great fight. It was amazing, and it was the last time I believe that we'll be seeing Dustin Poirier, Max Holloway. Okay, I mean, this was a really great fight. You know, you could tell by the war wounds after the fight. But Dustin Poirier retirement fight, a very impressive fight. You know, and so I'm really, really, really happy that you guys got a chance to tune in with us and lock in with us because, I mean, it's incredible. And so, I'm not trying to get banned. You know how the UFC is about certain things, man. But I think that it was great for them to share the ring one last time. They've had battles. They've had, I think that it was incredible. I mean, and we're gonna leave it right here, because like I said, I don't want to get taken down. I don't want to get banned. I don't want to get clipped or none of that. These two fighters are phenomenal talents. These two fighters are amazing men. And I could say that I am proud to have watched such an epic fight. I am proud to say I've watched such an epic fight because without guys like that, without guys that take these sports, these combat sports seriously, not only do I not have a program, but we guys don't have the entertainment. We want fighters that love to fight. We want people that love to go to war. We want to see this, and this as combat sports fans. And it's not about the violence. It's about the skill. It's about the ability for one fighter to show that this special move or this, And so I'm just really proud to say that I watched that fight. Shout out to Dustin Poirier for giving us a great career, a great UFC career. And I'm so proud to say that I've watched several of his fights and not just that one. And I've been luckily I've been able to watch all three of those fights. Max Holloway is Max Holloway. He's a dog. He's one of those guys that get in the ring, and even if it is your retirement fight, he's not gonna take it easy on you. He's not gonna take it easy on you at all. So that's what I would say. Shout out to Max, man. But we going into round number 3, man. We going in to round number 3. And like I said, with UFC, it's only 5 rounds, and so we are moving relatively fast. Okay? So as we get into this round number 3, like I said, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I want to thank you guys for always rocking with us like you always do, and I do appreciate this, and I do appreciate all of the things that you guys have done throughout the time here on Score the Fight. We have already passed the 250,000 views. We do want you to go subscribe to @Studio Runners as well as on our other social media platforms. We want you guys to rock with us as much as you can because guess what? We love giving you the most amazing content that we can give you, and we appreciate you guys. So let's go to the next subject. And that next subject is UFC 320 has been announced. Okay, UFC 320. And back in Vegas with the bangers. Okay, you got this. Yeah. You also got this. Yeah. And you also got this. Okay? Those are 3 fights that I'm pretty excited about. The most that I'm excited about is this one right here. Pereira Ankalaev. Pereira is one of my, I like Pereira. Iggy Adesanya probably is my second favorite UFC fighter. I like John Jones a lot because John Jones is the reason why I've even got into UFC. Him and Anderson Silva. You know, those two were my favorite fighters when I was a little bit not younger, but yeah, I mean, because John Jones, either which way, you know, grew up liking this, but these two guys right here, this is a fight that I would love to see. I mean, Ankalaev is a champion for a reason. Pereira is ranked number one for a reason. I mean, Pereira is one of those guys. And then this, I mean, we know what's going to happen here. In my opinion. You go back to this one, you know what I mean? But shout out to Dana White for continuing to put together good cards. And even with him going into the world of boxing, right? Even if him going into the world of boxing, you gotta appreciate it. You know, you gotta appreciate it because he's putting on great fights. You know, and then Aspinall and Cyril Gani is that's been announced. I want to see, you know, maybe later. But Murad, I mean, you know, like I was saying, man, just going over this UFC slate, man, and UFC 320, UFC 321, and UFC 322 all seem to have some pretty heavy hitters on them headlines. Pretty heavy hitters on the headlines, man. So shout out to you guys for tuning in, as you always do. And I'm gonna end this round with saying that despite Dana White stepping into the world of boxing, it's impressive to see that he's still keeping up good cards in that UFC. Okay, going into this next round. Okay, and that is round number 4. Round number 4. Y'all know what it is. Round number 4. We getting close to the end of the program, man. Getting close to the end of the program. You know? So I hope y'all been enjoying it. I really do. I hope y'all been enjoying this. I hope y'all been rocking with us, man. I hope y'all been locked in. And I really do. I appreciate you guys, though, so much. So, this next round. Got to talk about the guy. It's hard to talk about the current UFC without talking about the top dog in the current UFC, even though he retired and came back. To me, the top dog in the UFC is still John Bones Jones. And I know we're showing him, but shout out to during that fight. But John Bones Jones, man, the champion, he's a little different out there with Ryan Garcia. You know, he's not retired anymore. The speculation on him not being retired anymore comes from them saying that there's a White House card. If there's a White House card on the 4th of July, then John Jones is naturally going to want to be the headliner. He wants to make history. He's that type of guy. You got to get that type of guy up. You know? You got to get that type of guy up for that type of competition. Okay? And I think that John Jones, I think he got about 3 years left in him. I don't think he's going to fight 3 more years. I do think that he got 3 more years left in him to fight, though. And, I mean, after his last fight, though, it's hard to say when John Jones would ever lose. I think because for him to lose, you got to outthink him. It's not even about your size or might or strength or any of that when it comes to John Bones Jones. It's about your skill. He catches you with like elbows and spinning back kicks and question mark kicks and all kinds of stuff all kinds of stuff, you know. Let me swipe this out my way, out my camera way. Yeah, so John Bones Jones is just one of those guys that I think is phenomenal and a guy that I'm happy to see back into the octagon, to be honest. I'm happy to see him back, and I hope he does headline UFC at the White House. And you know what that is. That is going to bring us to the last round of the evening. That's going to bring us to the final round of the evening. And this final round of the evening. Round 5. We have been through 12 rounds of boxing, 4 rounds of UFC, and finally we are here, right here on the final round, okay, of what's going on this week in combat sports, okay? And so, there's only one thing that I think we should talk about in the UFC right now. And that is John Bones Jones versus Tom Aspinall. You know, I mean, I think that that's the best fight. I think that's the fight that needs to be made. I think that it would be stupid for both fighters not to figure out a way to make this happen. Okay? They don't like each other. I get it. You don't want to be in the same ring. I get it. You're not friends. I get it. You're not buddies. You're not compadres. You don't want to break bread with each other. I think Tom Aspinall would love to fight. John Jones is like, I'm not about to put no money in your pocket, bruh, because you just been ultra disrespectful. I feel your bones, but the best way to get back at that disrespect would be to rock out like they doing right here on the UFC game. That's what I think. That's what I think. I think Dana White, you gotta make the fight, okay? This fight has to happen. I agree. It has to happen. Aspinall is, to me, the premier heavyweight right now. And had John Bones Jones not jumped up in weight to go after the heavyweight title, then maybe this isn't even a real thing. But since he has, and he has dominated the heavyweights that he's faced, I just would love to see John Bones Jones versus Tom Aspinall. I think that this is the only fight that I would love to see. There's several fights in boxing that I think that needs to be made, but there is one fight in the UFC that has to be made, and that is this fight. That is John Bones Jones. That is Tom Aspinall. We the fans demand it. I'm sure your families are demanding it. I'm sure your friends are demanding it. The UFC needs to demand it. Dana White needs to demand it. Everybody that knows anything about this combat sport needs to demand this fight, because this is the biggest fight in UFC right now. This is the Canelo Crawford right now in the UFC. And John Bones Jones, I implore you to do your best to get that fight made. Okay? And well done. Well done. Okay? We have made it through 17 grueling rounds of combat sports. And we are here. Okay? On the press conference, right? That's what I'm going to call this segment. In the press conference, post-fight press conference, right? We're going to talk about dream fights because I just talked about my dream fight in the UFC. But we're going to talk about dream fights in boxing. Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson. Make the fight. Put the fight on. Like my man said, get the fight done. Sign the contract, buddy. Make it happen. Tank Shakur would love to see it. Tank Lamont Roach too. I would love to see that as well. Tank got 2 huge fights right here on the table. Make them fights. Canelo Alvarez, Jose Benavidez. Excuse me, David Benavidez. I said Jose. That's his brother. Canelo Benavidez must happen. Canelo, I don't know what it is. You got the same thing going on with John Jones and Tom Aspinall, Canelo and Benavidez. People say Canelo ducking. Benavidez said Canelo ducking. People say John Jones ducking. But I think that Canelo and John Jones are elite fighters, and they could probably beat just about anybody on the planet. So I don't think it's ducking. I don't. Sorry about the phone in the background. We're gonna let that ring. We ain't gonna mess with that. But before, we're gonna let it ring out. And then once we let it ring out, we're gonna go to the next fight. Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney 2. I want to see it. I don't care if the world don't want to see it. I want to see it. I want to know whether it was Austrian in the system and that's why Ryan won, or was it just that he just beat Devin and Devin's chin can't take Ryan's left hook? I want to know. Ryan, Devin, make it happen. Make it happen. Okay? Then I'm going to go to one that I just want to see for this local area. I talked about this a bit earlier. Gary Russell Jr., Lamont Roach. I think it's perfect timing for you both. Lamont Roach, you have gone into national stardom a little bit after the Tank fight, and you're trying to push your name. Gary Russell, you are in a return situation, kind of like a Pacquiao, not as old as Pacquiao, but returning back to the ring in your rare form. Perfect merge of a fight. Okay? Then, this is the last fight. We talked about this earlier. Claressa Sheilds, Laila Ali. Now, I would like to see this fight. Not love to see this fight. I don't feel like there's the same amount of pressure for this fight to be made as the other fights. But this is what I would call a dream fight for the fans. Laila is not too old to fight, even though she's too old to fight, if that makes any sense. Claressa Sheilds is calling herself the GOAT. And if she gets to fight someone that was renowned as the GOAT at the time that she started calling herself that, then I would love to see that fight as a fan. Okay? And so I'm going to end this as we always do with most of our programs with a final thought. My final thought is going to be short and sweet. It's not going to be nothing crazy. It's going to be simply, thank you guys for tuning in. Come tune in next week. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for the Claressa Sheilds Lani Daniels fight. Make sure that you tune in every time that we on. And the only way that you can do that is if you go to @StudioRunners on YouTube and subscribe. You go to @ScoreTheFight on YouTube and subscribe. You go to @ScoreTheFightNN on X and subscribe. And you go find us on the rest of the social media platforms, whether it's @StudioRunners, @ScoreTheFight. Find us, subscribe, follow, link in with us, because this is just the beginning. I hope you guys enjoyed this program. I am Point B. This has been Score the Fight.
This is Score the Fight on the Live Watch Network.
And so we're going to end this stream now. I appreciate you guys. See you tomorrow.
YouTube/@TheNatureDC. Subscribe today.